think that I had been responsible for so much of my life. And all of a sudden this window opened up where I was safe, I had money, he loved my children. It wasn't something he feared. He seemed to be comfortable with the enormity of the ex-husband. I mean, you know, I felt like I was not coming with baggage, I had trunks.
The husband she loved had left. Her children weren't speaking to her. Her former husband and friend had pulled away too.
I'm a happy type person. I smile a lot.
Brittany, please come back.
She's a Scorpio. What else do you need to know?
I'm a double Scorpio.
Double Scorpio.
She evidently collapsed in the bathroom.
E.T. uncovers the details behind Brittany Murphy's tragic end.
The 32-year-old who gained fame in movies like Clueless, Girl Interrupted, and 8 Mile.
With questions still surrounding her Hollywood home and the suspicious spouse who died in an eerily similar way.
We don't know why things work out the way they do.
We're conducting an investigation into the death of Brittany Murphy.
What was the address of the emergency?
1895 Rising Glen Road.
The address, Brittany's Hollywood Hills home, a space shared with her mom Sharon and husband of 2 years, Simon Monjack.
Tell me exactly what happened.
My daughter's passed out. She was dizzy. She couldn't walk right. She's had a cold. Oh my God.
That's Sharon's frantic 911 call nearly 20 years after the mother and daughter set out to attain Brittany's dreams of stardom.
Before Brittany Murphy's heartbreaking and mysterious death, she was desperately trying to escape the grip of powerful men in Hollywood. Now, Demi Moore is dropping explosive claims that shed light on what Brittany may have been facing, and she's naming names. According to Demi, the warning signs were all there. She claims that Brittany became a target in an industry where men with money, fame, and connections held all the power. And shockingly, Demi points to 2 men in particular, Ashton Kutcher and Diddy, as central figures in this toxic web of control. Demi isn't holding back. In her revelations, she describes how her whirlwind romance with Ashton Kutcher began like a Hollywood fairy tale, passion, excitement, and endless possibilities. But she says that what started as a dream quickly spiraled into something much darker. The relationship became a source of deep emotional strain, leaving Demi questioning everything she thought she knew about Ashton. And then came the real twist, the moment Diddy entered the picture. According to Demi, his presence in that world only intensified the chaos. His influence mixed with Ashton's behavior painted a picture of a Hollywood culture where women like Brittany Murphy were left vulnerable, isolated, and ultimately consumed by forces far greater than themselves. Guys, get ready because the story Demi spilt will leave you absolutely shocked.
Actress Brittany Murphy has died
Media
at the age
and
of
paparazzi
32.
surrounded the home that she shared with her husband, Simon Monjack.
Now, it's been more than a decade since Hollywood lost one of its brightest stars, Brittany Murphy. To the world, she'll forever be remembered as Ty, the quirky best friend in Clueless, the girl next door with a spark in her eye and a laugh that lit up every scene. But her tragic and sudden death on December 20th, 2009 left fans reeling. And to this day, the circumstances surrounding her final hours remain one of Hollywood's darkest mysteries. That morning, in her Hollywood Hills mansion, Brittany collapsed inside her bathroom. She had reportedly been struggling with flu-like symptoms for days, yet never sought medical help. In her last moments, she cried out desperately for her mother, Sharon Murphy, before losing consciousness. Paramedics rushed her to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, but it was too late. At just 32 years old, Brittany was gone. The official cause of death shocked the public. Doctors listed pneumonia, anemia, and multiple drug intoxication from an assortment of over-the-counter and prescription medications. Importantly, no illegal drugs were found in her system. To many, it looked like a tragic combination of bad health, stress, and unfortunate timing. But almost instantly, questions began to swirl. How does a vibrant young actress die of something as treatable as pneumonia in a multi-million-dollar home? Why didn't anyone step in sooner, and why did her story end this way? Now, for years, fans and investigators alike have whispered about foul play, toxic relationships, and the dangerous pressures of Hollywood. But now, out of the shadows, Demi Moore has stepped forward with shocking claims that could turn the narrative upside down. According to Demi, Brittany Murphy's death wasn't just a tragic accident, it was the result of powerful men, dark influences, and a culture in Hollywood that preys on vulnerable women. And she isn't holding back. Allegedly, Demi hinted that Ashton Kutcher and Diddy were the two figures whose presence and power shaped a world that Brittany was desperately trying to escape. And get this, Demi painted a picture of an industry where women are used, controlled, and discarded, and she says Brittany saw it firsthand in her final years. You see, before Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher became Hollywood's most talked about couple, there was another woman in Ashton's life, Brittany Murphy. Their romance was short-lived, and it ended so abruptly that no one ever truly understood why. But now, with Demi Moore speaking out, the dots are starting to connect, and the picture they paint is chilling. When Demi and Ashton first went public in 2003, the world went wild. She was a Hollywood legend, a powerhouse, and he was the fresh-faced heartthrob of that 70s show. Their 15-year age gap became instant tabloid fodder, with paparazzi stalking their every move. But instead of shying away, Demi threw herself into the relationship head first. Together, they looked picture perfect. Glamorous red carpet appearances, exotic vacations, and even a blended family with Demi's 3 daughters from her marriage to Bruce Willis. However, behind those glossy magazine covers, the cracks were already showing. Cracks that eerily mirrored what Brittany Murphy had once endured with Ashton. Demi suffered a devastating miscarriage early in their relationship, something she carried as a silent grief. That loss created a rift that never truly healed. And then came the comment, Ashton casually questioning her decades of sobriety, suggesting maybe moderation was possible. For Demi, who had fought tooth and nail to stay sober, it wasn't just a careless remark. It felt like a challenge to her very identity. And in her desperation to please him, she gave in. She started drinking again, unraveling years of hard-won recovery, all because of one man's influence. But that was just the beginning. Ashton, now fully immersed in the Hollywood party scene, had a new circle. And at the center of it was none other than Diddy. And it was during this time that Ashton introduced something into his marriage with Demi that would completely destabilize it: threesomes. According to Demi, she never truly wanted them, but she agreed, convincing herself that it was the only way to keep Ashton interested, the only way to be the fun wife he expected her to be. Now, what started as a misguided attempt to please him became a weapon that Ashton would later use against her. The breaking point was nothing short of humiliating. Demi didn't hear about Ashton's infidelity from him directly. She found out through a Google alert that he had cheated during Danny Masterson's bachelor party in San Diego. And when she confronted him, Ashton had the audacity to justify it, claiming that because they had engaged in threesomes, his betrayal somehow didn't count as cheating. If that wasn't enough, Ashton admitted to cheating again. This time, it wasn't just the collapse of trust, it was the collapse of the marriage itself. By 2011, their separation was public, messy, and painful. For Demi, it wasn't just about losing a husband. It was about losing herself. The identity she had built around this relationship came crashing down, leaving her spiraling into one of the darkest chapters of her life, plagued by addiction, health scares, and emotional breakdowns. And here's where the story takes a darker turn, because the pattern Demi describes in her marriage to Ashton sounds disturbingly familiar. Brittany Murphy, Ashton's ex before Demi, had also been swept up in his charm, only to walk away bruised, confused, and silenced. Did she see the same red flags that Demi ignored? Did she get caught up in the same toxic cycle of pressure, betrayal, and control? Now, years later, Demi Moore isn't holding back. She's connecting the dots between Ashton, Brittany, Diddy, and the darker underbelly of Hollywood. And suddenly, Brittany's shocking death doesn't look like just an isolated tragedy. It looks like part of a much bigger, much scarier story. Guys, after Demi's revelations, people began looking into Ashton's past and looking at things from a different angle. It's no secret that Ashton Kutcher has long been tied to Diddy's infamous inner circle. In the early 2000s, they were seen together constantly at clubs, on red carpets, and most importantly, at Diddy's legendary parties. But here's the thing, those parties weren't just glamorous Hollywood hangouts. According to insiders, they were operations. Carefully orchestrated nights filled with surveillance, exploitation, and, some say, blackmail. Celebrities thought they were partying, but in reality, every move was being watched, documented, and in some cases, weaponized. Which raises the question, what did Brittany Murphy see? Because Brittany wasn't just a rising starlet. Through Ashton, she would have had direct access to that circle and the secrets that came with it. And just like the late Kim Porter, who also had a deeply personal connection to Diddy and died under suspicious circumstances, there's growing speculation that Brittany may have known far more than was safe. Think about it. Right after her breakup with Ashton, Brittany's career took a sharp, bizarre nosedive. She went from starring in critically acclaimed hits like 8 Mile and Clueless to struggling through low-budget films that barely made it to DVD. She had a sudden and messy falling out with her powerful agency, which all but blacklisted her from top projects. Insiders at the time chalked it up to her being difficult. But now, in light of what we know about Hollywood cover-ups, doesn't it sound more like she was being pushed out? And then there's her behavior. Friends claimed Brittany became paranoid. She was terrified of being followed. She isolated herself more and more, while those around her either didn't notice or didn't intervene. Was it mental health issues, or was she genuinely being watched? Fast forward to December 2009. Brittany is dead at just 32 years old. The cause? Pneumonia and anemia. Tragic but strange. And just 5 months later, her husband, Simon Monjack, dies in the very same house from the exact same causes. What are the odds of that? 2 healthy adults gone within months under identical circumstances. Now here's where it gets even more chilling. Around the time of Brittany's death, rumors swirled that she was planning to go public, that she had information about powerful men in Hollywood that could cause major fallout. Some even claim she had proof of shady dealings connected to Diddy's parties and was ready to expose them. And suddenly, she's gone. Sound familiar? It should, because the same whispers surround Kim Porter, Diddy's longtime partner and the mother of his children, who also reportedly had secrets about what went on at those parties. She too died suddenly under suspicious circumstances. So ask yourself this, was Brittany Murphy just another casualty of Hollywood's toxic machine? Or was she silenced because she knew too much? Let me know your opinions in the comments, and don't forget to check out our other videos to ensure you are all up to date with all the latest tea. Till next time, bye.